difficulty, Facebook on your computer. Yes?
It's crooked like my heart. Can you just hand the madanga, please? Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Jayam Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Braja Jananandana Yashodanandana Braja Jananandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Asutarasata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Asutarasata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Anand Kuri Vaishnavan Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधे कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय मधुर धाम की जय नवरी धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगामाई की जय यमुनामाई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय Samaveta Bhaktavan ki jai, Nithai Gora Premanandi. Hari 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 Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Varistaya Bhutali Shrimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Pani Brachari Nadi Vishesha Shudari Bhachatri. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from the first canto, 13th chapter, text number 28. Ata udichin disham jatu.
Ata udichin
Disham yatu. Swaira anata gatir bhavan.
38.
28.
Swairagnata gatir bhavan.
Ito abrak prayasa kalaha.
Ito rakayashan kalaha.
Pumsham guna vikarshanaha.
Om Sham Guna Vikarshanaha. Adhodichim Disham Yatu.
Atudichin disham jatu.
Swairagnata gatir bhavan.
Swaira anata gatir bhavan.
Ito arvak prayasha kalaha.
Ito arbak prayasa.
Pumsam guna vikarshanaha.
Pumsham guna varkarshana.
Atodichim disham yatu.
Atudichin disham jatu.
Swairagnata gatir bhavan.
Swairagnata gatir bhavan.
Ito arvak prayasha kalaha.
Ito arbak prayasa.
Pumsam guna vikarshanaha.
Pumsham guna vikarshana. Translation. Please therefore go away immediately towards the northern sign without any knowledge of your relatives, because just in the near future after this, the time is approaching which will diminish man's good qualities. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. A life of frustration can be compensated by becoming a dhira or leaving home for good without any knowledge of the relatives. And Vidura advised his eldest brother to adopt the way without delay, because very quickly the age of Kali was approaching, was also indicated by him. A conditioned soul is already embarrassed by the material association, and still in the Kali Yuga, good qualities of a man will deteriorate to the lowest standard. He was advised to leave home before the time of Kali Yuga approaches, because the atmosphere which was created by Vidura in response to his valuable instructions on the fact of life may fade away due to the influence of the particular age fast approaching. To become Narottama, or the first-class human being, depending completely on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not possible for any ordinary man, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that a person who is completely relieved of all tints of sinful acts can alone depend on the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, the Personality of Godhead. Dhritarashtra was advised by Vidura at least to become a dhira in the beginning, if it was impossible for him to become a sannyasi or a narottama. Persistently endeavoring on the line of self-realization helps a person to rise up to the conditions of a narottama from the stage of dhira. Dhira stage is attained after prolonged practice of the yoga system, but by the grace of Vidura, one can attain the stage immediately simply by willing to adopt the means of dhira stage, which is the preparatory stage for sannyas. And sannyas stage is the preparatory stage of Paramahamsa, or the first grade devotee of the Lord. Om Agyantirinandasya Gyanajanashalakayam Chakshunanmarityam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
So, Vidura Mahatma was a pure devotee of Krishna, and he was instructing his brother, who was very much attached to material sense gratification, to leave his home, leave his family, and prepare for the last stage of life, or the last moment of life, death. Death is the period after the sentence of our life, material life. For the spiritual life, there is no cessation, and there is also no beginning. Our spiritual life has no beginning. Sometimes people ask, how did you come to this Krishna consciousness? I think yesterday also someone was asking. Nityananda Prabhu was giving class. So there is a misunderstanding. Krishna consciousness has no beginning. It is Nitya. Just like you are Nitya. You are eternal. The spirit soul is eternal. The body is temporary, but you are not the body, you are the spirit soul, and you are eternal. Similarly, your Krishna consciousness is eternal. It has no beginning. It is the original consciousness of the soul. Only for the temporary time, it acts pervertedly as the attachment to this matter, material. We attach to matter. This is our greatest suffering. We become very pleased when we get sense gratification from matter, but since the nature of matter is that it is impermanent, that enjoyment doesn't last. And that very same material thing becomes the cause of our misery. Any material enjoyment you take, it results in misery. Just like our body. We're living, we're pursuing career and this and that, so many things, but ultimately the whole material body becomes full of misery, because one must die. One must leave behind all that he has accomplished. And even things, if he's thinking, oh, I'm going to leave behind some great monument, some great work, some great family. My children will carry on the torchlight, like the Olympic Games, they have the torchlight, right? So my children will carry on the torch. Now, everything will be destroyed. This whole material cosmos will be destroyed. Everything will be destroyed. Nothing will stay. Bhutva bhutva praliyate, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. When we want to understand things that are beyond our perception, we must accept the Shastra. We cannot speculate like the scientists. Always speculating. Not speculate. You must approach Shastra. You must surrender. You must accept. You cannot speculate on things that you cannot have a direct perception. That is not the way how to ascertain reality. The reality is ascertained when we hear from a perfect authority. So Krishna is the perfect authority. All the great acharyas, Vishnu Swami, Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, even Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they have accepted Krishna as the perfect authority. So the Shastra, all the Shastra that we have, Shastra means the scripture, it emanates from the breath of Mahavishnu, who is Krishna. So we must accept the Shastric injunction. Because Shastra is coming from Krishna, and Krishna is the one who has put this circle, this cycle of creation and destruction into motion. That is more scientific. Why should I speculate? Why should I depend on some guesswork? If you have, sometimes they have the terrorist attack, so they have a bomb. The bomb is ticking. So they call police. Oh, can you stop the bomb ticking? So now the police comes and they say, oh, let me push this button. No, let me push this button. Oh, I know better. Okay, let me guess. No, you must know the science, how the bomb works. So they must call a very, very perfect authority, a bomb expert. And when the bomb expert says that, oh, you have to cut off this wire, you fool, don't push that button. That will detonate the bomb even faster, you fool. So everybody knows that, oh, this is the bomb master detective, Mr. Bomb Master. So he knows how the bomb works. And if a foolish policeman insists, then oh, why should we follow him? Oh, I know better. Let me guess. I don't follow any authority. So everyone in that room will say, you fool, you nonsense. You want to kill us all? So we cannot speculate on our own. We must approach the supreme authority, Krishna. And we must know Krishna by the study of Shastra. Those who do not accept Shastra, they cannot reach perfection in this life or the next. That is what Krishna says. Just like someone who doesn't want to accept the authority of the doctor or a lawyer or like that, he cannot function in a society. If you want to do everything on your own, then you're going to fail. That is the philosophy of a fool. A fool doesn't want to be instructed on anything. He thinks, I know everything. That is the definition of a fool. An intelligent person, that is the intelligence. Let me go to someone who knows. That is intelligence. That is not a weakness. That is the greatest strength. That is the sign that your intelligence is in a good place. Yes, let me approach. So Krishna says that this world is temporary. You cannot stay here. Neither your creation or your dynasties can stay here. Everything will be finished. So the real purpose of life is to realize myself, who I am, and to realize my connection with God, with Krishna. So when that relationship is forgotten, Glanir Bhavati Bharata, when there is a deviation from the Shastric injunctions, Krishna descends himself, or he sends his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. Just like in the beginning, I have said this prayer. Om Agyan Tirinandasya Gyanir, what is that? Gyana Jana Shalakaya Chakshunamritamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So when the world is in darkness, I am in darkness, and the world is in darkness. Without knowledge, we are all in tamas, ignorance or darkness. Tama means ignorance or darkness. So the spiritual master and the Shastra brings light. Even the Vedas, they give this instruction. Come to light. Don't remain in darkness. Come to light. So we must approach a bona fide spiritual master, and we must take guidance from him. Yasya devi parabhakti atarivi tata guru tasyata kachita yarta prakashanti mahatmana. What is that shloka? What is that? What does it mean? Mahatma, what is that? Mahatma Gandhi, yes?
Great soul.
Great soul, Mahatma Gandhi, yes? No? Why not?
Philanthropist.
Philanthropist, yes. What's wrong with philanthropy?
It's related to the body. It's
Yes.
temporary.
Yes, so it is another form of ignorance, teaching philanthropy. Yeah? So what does it mean, that shloka? Yasya devi para bhaktir, yata devi tata guru, tasyata kaya hyarta prakashanti mahatmana. Unless you have firm faith in a guru and Krishna, both at the same time. Not that simply guru. Not that simply guru. That is not a guru. Guru who doesn't teach about Krishna, who never mentions Krishna, is not a guru. How do you know who is a guru? Immediately he speaks of Krishna. And when the whole class is going on, or his speech, somewhere in Harvard or some college like that, and not even a single time he mentions Krishna, then he's not a guru, but he is a guru. Guru, yes, cow, foolish cow. Simply taking grass, simply taking donations and praise, but doesn't give milk. No nectar. That is not a guru. That is a guru. Guru is a rascal. He must mention Krishna. Krishna immediately. Just like our Srila Prabhupada. Immediately. Whenever you listen to Prabhupada or hear his class or read his book, Prabhupada always says, Krishna is the supreme, what is that? Personality of Godhead. Yes, to make it very clear. We're very, very fanatical. We're not compromised. We're great fanatics. We only worship Krishna. We only like Krishna. We don't speak of anything than Krishna. We're completely obsessed with Krishna. So the whole world can know. The whole world we propagate. We're completely insane. We only love Krishna. We don't discuss anything else. Make it very clear. So there's no misunderstanding that we might be in different ways compromised. We immediately pull out Krishna from the back. These so-called gurus, they keep Krishna in the back and they don't show Krishna. They say that, if we show Krishna, people will run away. We must get many people. That is very important. To achieve renunciation, you must be surrounded by many foolish people. It's nonsense. Lord Chaitanya says, Asat Sangatyak, a Vaishnavachar. That's how you know a Vaishnava. Asat Sangatyak. He gives up non-devotee association. And a nonsense, so-called guru, he said, yes, Asat Sangha, more and more and more. I have not enough. I am here with devotees, I'm very unhappy because I don't have any Asat Sangha. So then he's preaching in this compromised way, keeping Krishna in the back, hidden, doesn't show Krishna. And then he's giving false promise. In the future, I shall show Krishna. I will pull out Krishna from the back in the future. So what is that in the future philosophy? We don't like the in the future philosophy. Why?
Cheating.
Why? Why is it cheating? Prabhupada says post-dated check.
Yes.
What is that post-dated check?
I simply believe you. Someone tells you, I'll write you a check in the
Yeah.
future. I'm just supposed to believe you.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not scientific.
Not scientific. Yes. Simply based on belief and blind belief. You work very hard for me. You work on a job. I'm your boss, let's say. And then at the end of the month, you say, okay, so you give me salary? I say, yes, in the future I will give you. When? In the future. I don't know exactly, but I'm trying. And rest assured, in the future. So that day will never come. He will never pull out Krishna. He himself will forget Krishna. So don't preach like that, like a nonsense. You must make it very clear. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you don't like it, get out. We're going back home, back to Godhead, to enjoy with Krishna, Satchitananda. Everything is made of Satchitananda there, full of eternity, bliss, knowledge. We're going to join our eternal lover, our eternal friend, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. We're going to dance in ecstasy eternally, ever expanding, increasing pleasure in the association of the Supreme Godhead. So whether you believe, what do you think, we don't care. We don't care. You rot here and die. We don't care. This is our preaching. You must be confident, not like a nonsense. You must be confident. Then people will be very much attracted. See, you take all these great saints, Lord Jesus, Lord Buddha, Prophet Muhammad, are all very confident. They're all preaching the same thing, maybe with slight differences. But the emphasis is give up this material sense gratification. They never said that, oh, you can keep a little sense gratification, a little sinful activity you can keep, that's okay. You just give me some donation and, we call it a quits. No. They have you mark all these bona fide saints, they always agitate everyone. Everyone is very angry. When the bona fide saint comes, there's a huge movement against him. Very unpopular. And a guru, he is very popular. Because he's a rascal. In a rascal place, a rascal is very much loved. This is a rascal place. Because it's temporary and it's full of misery. And it's full of cheating. People are influenced by this age of Kali. See, Prabhupada says that Vidura wanted to preach to Dhritarashtra before the age of Kali begins. Because the age of Kali is influencing us in a bad way. Mandan sumanda matayo, very inauspicious, very lazy people. Very lazy in terms of self-realization. And that age has a tremendous impact on our mind, on our relationships. So Mahatma, this was in a previous age, Dvapara Yuga. So he wanted to warn him, please don't delay. The age of Kali begins very, very, very soon. Don't delay. It will have an influence on your mind that will be more difficult for you to come to Krishna consciousness. You see, so Vidura Mahatma is a representative of Krishna. He's a bona fide spiritual master. Why? Because he always follows the previous authorities. Just like he has learned from Maitreya Rishi, his spiritual master. He doesn't change anything. He doesn't try to flatter Dhritarashtra. This is real compassion. Compassion for the soul, not for the body. That is real compassion. So, he's trying to bring him to the stage of Narottama. Narottama means a pure devotee. The first class human being. That is a pure devotee. We should not be foolish to think that, from the very beginning, I am a first class living being. I chant a little japa, I offer a little prasadam so I can eat, and I think, I am Narottama. No, that is a great process, very complex process, difficult process. We have to purify all the anarthas, all the impurities that are in our heart, all the attachments, not just the attachments, but the very propensity to enjoy material attachments. We also have to give up. This is a very difficult job. Even to become a dhira. Dhira, who is a dhira? Sober person. Someone who's not agitated by the material body. He's not agitated by sex desire. That is a dhira. That is just a preliminary stage. What to speak of the ultimate stage? And there are people who say, I am Narottama, and he is controlled by sex desire. Such cheating is going on. So, by the mercy of a pure devotee, even we might not be situated in this scientific social system of Varnashram Dharma, by the association of a pure devotee, just like our Srila Prabhupada, he is a pure devotee. When you read his books, you're getting his direct association, direct purification. That's why we should read his books every day. By his mercy, you can come to the highest perfection immediately. Immediately. Has such an impact on the consciousness. This is the power of transcendental sound. Srila Prabhupada talks a lot about the value of transcendental sound in the first canto. The value of hearing. This is the real initiation. Through hearing, you can associate with the Guru physically. That should be done also. But if you do not hear, then that is useless. Then you're wasting your time. You must hear from the Guru. Just like Vidura Mahatma, he was instructing Dhritarashtra. This instruction is very important. He was touring holy places. He didn't spend so much time with Dhritarashtra. But he has learned from Maitreya, and now he's coming back to instruct Dhritarashtra. From the very beginning, he shoots right away the instructions. Get out! Get out from this household of life. You nonsense, attached. So much attached. Give up immediately. Sharp words. So, the dhira is a preliminary stage of self-realization. Of course, Dhritarashtra did not reach that perfection of Narottama, but at least he got impersonal liberation. So he was saved, at least from that sort of condemned life, that degrading into an animal form or life. Because that's what's going to happen. If we overly attach to matter, material affairs, material sense gratification, we'll take birth as animals. Just consider Maharaj Bharata. He was at the stage of Bhav, practically a Narottama. And even he fell down because he was thinking of a deer. This philanthropy. Again, attachment or love for the body, not for the soul. He became betrayed by it. So he fell down. Then he became a Jadabharad and so on and so on. You know the story. So what to speak of us? How much we must be careful not to degrade into the animal form. Because that is the greatest loss. The animals, they also have family, they have wife, children. So if we simply concern about family and children the whole life, we're as good as animals. If you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, people say, oh, Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam. But if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam carefully and sincerely, you will see how this feminine life is condemned. There are some devotees, they become agitated. Why you speak? Oh, this is fanaticism. But well, you have never read the Bhagavatam. We don't condemn anyone. But that activity of attachment, we must condemn. Otherwise, where is spiritual advancement? Where is spiritual realization? So we must understand this. What is the cause of my material attachment? This Bhavaroga. I want to be the Lord and controller. I want to be Krishna. And I want to expand my illusion through family, society, and so on and so on. So we must be very careful. At least become a dhira. At least understand. Dhira tatra anumuyate. That word dhira has been mentioned by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Dhira tatra anumuyate. The dhira, sober person, self-realized person, is not bewildered by the change of the body. He is not bewildered when a person dies. He doesn't cry, oh, he has died, my father is gone. He understands, he's eternal, no one dies. We simply change the dress, bodily dress. The body is compared to dress. We change different dress, you put a different kurta every day or different sari. But it doesn't mean that you finished. Your kurta or sari may be torn. You just throw it in the garbage, you put another one. You don't cry, oh my kurta, oh my sari, oh what a tragedy. No, you just throw it out. Next. So Adhira is like that. He's completely unaffected by the bodily change, by the bodily sufferings and by the bodily change. But from that state of Dhira, we must advance further. Brahma bhuta prasanatmana suchati nakangshati samasarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labati param. From that point, we must then inquire, what is my engagement? What is my activity in the liberated stage? And then we come to devotional service. You see? Devotional service. So we're getting this benediction of being engaged in devotional service from the very beginning. From the very beginning, by the mercy of a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. We engage in chanting, hearing, meditating, serving the lotus feet, praying, worship, and so on and so on. All these are activities on transcendental platform. They have nothing to do with any material activity. Don't misunderstand the activities of devotees as material. They have nothing to do with the mundane cause and effect. As I said in the beginning, Krishna consciousness is eternal. It is eternally within everyone's heart. And by the instruction of the spiritual master, that Krishna consciousness becomes awakened. So, by the association of Narottama, pure devotee, we can also come to the stage of Narottama. Very simple. That is why we emphasize this shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Associate with Srila Prabhupada. With Srila Prabhupada, we know for sure he's a pure devotee. With the others, you never know. He can fall down. So many devotees will fall down. Now you accept some nonsense who falls down, but your whole life is spoiled. A pure devotee never falls down. So if he falls down, he's not a pure devotee. He's a cheater. So how do you know whether your guru is a cheater or not? Don't accept all these gurus. Accept Srila Prabhupada. You can accept guru, that's okay. But that guru should teach you how to follow the real guru, Srila Prabhupada. See, very simple. Okay, so I'll stop here. Are there any questions? You can read Nityananda Prabhu.
Sorry?
You can read. Any questions?
Okay. Jaya Radhika is asking, Prabhu, what's your thoughts on preaching? Atheists might be at work. Considering that we just recited 10 offenses of chanting, were glories of chanting not to be preached to unfaithful. Hare Krishna.
Yes, okay, so that is a very nice question because it shows that this devotee, she wants to preach Krishna consciousness. You see, so this is a higher platform, higher. The preliminary platform is that I'm receiving from Krishna. I'm enjoying the association of the devotees. I'm enjoying the prasadam. I am enjoying the Maha Mantra, so many things. Okay, Florence, you can also check YouTube because David James is my old friend. He has a question. Yeah. So the next phase is that, I'm getting so much let me give something back. So the best gift you can give to Krishna is to preach his message. So that is a very, very, very nice what this Mataji asked, that she wants to preach to her co-workers. So we should at the same time not preach to the atheists, because that is an offense to the holy name. So who is an atheist? Because someone might be atheist simply because he did not get the proper understanding. The disturbance is due to ignorance. Everyone is in ignorance. A pure devotee, he doesn't even see an atheist. He sees everyone as a devotee of Krishna. He sees the potential within everyone. But that state we should not imitate. We should make some discrimination. So, in order to test who is who, what you can do is, you can ask them some questions. For example, you can ask them, do you think there is afterlife? What do you think? Is there a soul? Are we just a bunch of chemicals without any purpose floating in the universe? I'm just giving you an example. You can ask them. Ask them some question. You see? Take the example of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is the perfect example of the spiritual master. In the beginning, Krishna did not instruct anything. He let Arjuna speak. Arjuna was speaking. Oh, my cousin brothers, my this, my that, they, oh, I'm going to break the rules of dharma. And he was going on and on and on and on. So Krishna was simply smiling. Oh, what this fool is saying. He did not instruct. Only when Arjuna submitted to Krishna, now I am your disciple, now let us finish friendly talks. Only at that point Krishna started instructing him. You see, so this is the difference between instructing and, you can call it testing the grounds. Testing the grounds is not harmful, and also giving prasadam is not instructing people. You can give prasadam to an atheist. You can let them hear the Mahamantra. You chant Hare Krishna for them, or you play Prabhupada's bhajan at work. I don't know if it's possible. Then you can do. And you can ask them questions. And when you know that there's some, you can even if a person says, I don't believe in the soul, you ask them, why not? Why you believe in this body? Because that is also a belief. This atheism is just another form of belief. It's just another blind faith religion. They believe in the body, in the existence of the body. Now you can challenge, which body? The childhood body, the youthhood body, which body? The body is always changing. Can you show me the body? Which body you have? Which body are you? Every single second the body is changing. So you can ask like that. First of all, you have to challenge the atheistic point of view. And say, this is not satisfactory. Why are you believing this? He has to come to the point of understanding, oh, I'm a fool. And then what happens, usually the effect is, we have the experience, that person, when you show him very intelligently the flaw of his viewpoint, that person on his own, he will ask, so what is the answer then? And then you can preach a little bit. You see, this is the process. I am not making this up. This is what Srila Prabhupada explains. This very system I'm explaining you, Srila Prabhupada explains like that. How to be a guru. This is, you are becoming a guru. See, this is a guru's duty to preach Krishna consciousness. So you must learn how to act as a guru. You don't have to bring a big Vyasa-san to your workplace. If you know the methodology, how to present Krishna consciousness nicely to people without them being agitated, then you need a Vyasa-san. You're better than all the Vyasa-san gurus. Alright? So, next.
There is a question on YouTube. How to develop daily sadhana, daily practice, daily James.
Well, first of all, you must understand why to practice the sadhana. If you don't understand why, what is the purpose, then we're doing some sadhana that has no foundation. You first of all must be convinced. Yes, this is spiritual master I want to follow. Sadhana is the third stage. The first stage is Shraddha. Shraddha means some faith. You have some faith. Oh, this Krishna consciousness seems nice. I have faith that this might be a bona fide process. So if that faith grows, then you develop sadhu sangha. Just like here, this is sadhu sangha. We're giving these classes every day. So you should join every day if possible. Sadhu sangha. Just like so many devotees, they're joining every day and developing sadhu sangha, association of devotees. And then the third stage, when that sadhu sangha becomes very nicely, concentrated, crystallized. Sadhu sangha consists of hearing and questions. Not just hearing, but you must ask questions. Wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. When you say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we should dedicate everything to Him, this is too much. So if you feel such a doubt, then you immediately raise the doubt, you ask a question. Because when you come to the third stage, when you accept a bona fide guru, you must follow everything he says. Everything he says. If he says jump out of the window now, you must do it. You must do it not just like that, but you must do it with a smile on your face. So are you ready to do that? Of course, a bona fide guru will never say that you should jump out of the window. But our conviction, our surrender should be like that. So don't accept sadhana, don't accept the guru cheaply. You must first of all be convinced, yes, this guru is perfect. I will follow all his instructions. Then you come to the stage of sadhana. You see? So the sadhana is not good, is not, consistent, because there's not, the foundation is not built strongly. So you build the foundation better. Then the sadhana will be consistent. Okay? So, yes?
Just asking, which chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about family life and attachments, please?
The whole Bhagavatam. The whole Bhagavatam. Everything. Look at Maharaj Parikshit. That is the premise upon which the Bhagavatam has been spoken. That he has 7 days to die. And he gives up everything and he hears the Srimad Bhagavatam. So from the very beginning, this idea of giving up family life is there. So read the Bhagavatam from the very beginning, the first canto. And then when you come to the 10th canto, then you will be completely free from family attachments.
Rosie is asking.
It doesn't mean that we should leave the family. If you have responsibility, if you have children, don't leave the children. But make them Krishna conscious, that is as good as giving up family. Why the family is bad? Because we're immersed in this materialism. But if the family is Krishna conscious, then you have sadhu sangha, then you have devotee association. So that is good. Okay? You can send Francesca some passages from the Bhagavatam. About family life. That new book we have compiled. There's lots of quotes from the Bhagavatam. I can show you. Now, the time. Yeah. Okay, next.
Rosie is asking, Hare Krishna, question.
Are you coming, Rosie, today?
What about devotees with demonic nature? Shall we still talk about Krishna?
What is it?
with them?
Devotee what?
Devotees with demonic nature.
How can he be a devotee? See, from the very beginning, this is a misunderstanding. How can a devotee have demonic nature? That is not a devotee. Cannot be a devotee. How can a devotee? It was explained in the purport. If you are attentive, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes the Bhagavad Gita. A person who is completely relieved of all sins of sinful acts can alone depend on the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmanam tedvantamoham nirmukta bhajantimam vidavrata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives, not just this life, even previous lives, and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. You see, this is a devotee. This is a definition of a devotee. He must be freed from the dualities of delusion. So, we must study the Bhagavad Gita. Rosie, you must study very carefully. Everything is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. There's a whole chapter called Demonic and Divine Nature. Chapter number 16. So why Krishna explains about this, demonic and divine. So we know the distinction. Yes. Next.
Vanatia is asking,
Yeah.
you were mentioning the different stages earlier, such as Dhira and Narottama.
Yeah.
How would one know, or who, or how is it determined when one has reached these different stages?
How does one know?
How would one know how or who, I suppose, how is it determined when one has reached these different stages? Who or how is it determined?
You will be free from sex life, sex desire. Dhira. Even in the presence of agitation, you will not be agitated. Complete freedom from sex desire. You will not need to ask, you will know. If you are asking, that means you do not know. Just like when you are hungry and you take food, you don't need a certificate that, oh, you have now filled up your belly. You know it. It's self-manifested, that state of satisfaction. Of course, the Narottam stage, that is a little bit more, is not so easy, not simply be devoid of sinful activities or sinful desires, but one must also develop his devotional qualities. So that is a little bit elaborate. But let's just stick with the Dhira first. Let's go to Dhira, then we talk about pure devotee. Okay? Next.
That's it?
That's it? Okay.
I have a short question.
Yes?
Wondering about the purport, because Srila Prabhupada says the Dhira stage is attained after prolonged practice of the yoga system, but by the grace of Vidura, one can attain the stage immediately, simply by willing to adopt the means of the Dhira stage. So what are the means of the Dhira stage? Because at the start of the purport, Prabhupada tells us that one can compensate for a life of frustration by becoming a Dhira, or leaving home for good, without communicating with relatives. So does this mean that just by leaving home to go in an isolated place, one can become a Dhira?
No.
Is there more?
No, the point here is that he is willing to listen to Vidura. Vidura is giving him instructions. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada is giving us instructions. Follow the 4 ranks, chant 16 rounds. If you're willing to do this, then it qualifies you. to the position of a Dhira. Imperceptibly liberated, because the process is so perfect. Simply by adopting that process, you're on the path to become a Dhira. But of course, you have to qualify. It just emphasizes the value of a pure devotees association. Peter Krishna, he asked a question, but you didn't read. Very bad.
You didn't show to me. Yeah, I wasn't sure to me. I just see his question, but no question.
Okay, maybe you can copy paste again, because somehow we can't see that question. And Florencia asked also.
Also didn't see. Last one Florencia, I see David James on YouTube.
And Jai Radhika also asked another one.
So,
Okay, Florencia is asking, I was wondering if one has to be initiated for these different stages. I guess it's self-determined. Yes, you must be initiated, of course. Initiated by the spiritual master. I explained before, unless you initiate it, your Krishna consciousness doesn't awaken. So one must be initiated. That's why we asking everyone, please come and hear. Come to the class. Hear, 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 hear. That's how you become initiated. Jai Radhika is asking, oh boy. Can you see that question? No.
if I refresh.
And we're running out of battery, but that's okay. 10%.
And which glass, which one, mine or on iPhone?
Okay, let me see my computer. Maybe it's going to show on the computer.
Yeah, I'm also not checking.
Some censorship here. It's censoring questions.
My phone is dying, bro.
Yeah.
It should last 10%.
Okay. In higher stages, Jai Radhika is asking, oh, Bhakti Maya challenges devotee with sex desire. I read somewhere. Is that true? Although I guess devotees at higher stages are well armed from lowermost like sex desire. Well, that is not a high stage. If one is still tempted by sex desire, and he's a Kanishta Adhikari, he cannot be, he's not actual devotee. Sex desire, that is a preliminary stage. There's temptation, all these temptations. A pure devotee doesn't have any temptation. He doesn't fall down. No more fall down. Pure devotee does not fall down at any point. He's not tested. Okay, so these different tests Maya is bringing, that's for neophyte devotees. See, Haridas Thakur was also tempted by a prostitute and by Maya Devi herself, but he was not at all affected. He's a pure devotee. Okay?
I can see the question.
Okay, Peter is asking, please, should we attain any stage possible in Krishna consciousness? Is that better than to stay in material conception of life? Yes, of course. Any stage. Yeah, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. You're all in a stage of Sadhu Sangha. That's the second stage already. So if you go on hearing, you come to Bhajana Kriya. Yeah, it might sound a little discouraging, but don't be discouraged. Any stage, whatever stage you're on, just stick with Krishna consciousness. It's always better than just being negligent. All right, so we'll stop here. Thank you so much for such wonderful participation, so many nice questions. Thank you, Jai Radhika, for joining us. Please come again. Hare Krishna, Peter Krishna, Florencia, Francesca. Okay, last question. Sadhu Sangha, Jai Radhika is asking, Sadhu Sangha is must in all stages, but prema or also in prema? Of course, in prema, the stage of love of Godhead is not that we love Krishna alone. Krishna is always accompanied by his devotees. So when you have love of Krishna, you have love for the devotees. So Sadhu Sangha must be there. Okay, thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gora Premanandi Yari 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 Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Murti Shmara Bhakti Vayanda Samari Ramana Nama Kirtana Satare Gora Vani Birachani Nani Vishi Krishna Vari Bachati Karine. Jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. How do I turn this off?
Shri Panchata ki
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai Gaura Premanandi.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Murti Shmara Bhakti Vayanda Samari Ramana So can you write
I don't know. Nityananda Prabhu, do you know how to turn on the YouTube thing?
please don't stream us anymore. We don't want to be on YouTube.